What if I told you that one of the healthiest foods in your kitchen could also be one of the riskiest for your brain? We are not talking about processed snacks or red meat. Today we are talking about fruit. Yes, fruit. We are going to reveal how 5 very common fruits you likely have in your home right now and believe are good for you, could be silently increasing your risk of a stroke, especially while you sleep. To help us understand this shocking but important truth, we are so grateful to have Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara with us. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Ben. It is very important to be clear from the beginning. The problem is not the fruit itself. The fruit is innocent. The problem is that our bodies change as we age. The way your body processes sugar, potassium, and even water at age 70 is very different than it was at age 40. To be safe, we must learn the new rules for our new body. Today, we will learn those new rules.
Learning the new rules, that's a perfect way to put it, and that is our exact goal today. We will walk you through each of these 5 common fruits. For each one, I will explain the simple science behind the risk, and Dr. Hinohara will share a powerful story from his years of practice. And then, most importantly, at the end of the video, we will give you Dr. Hinohara's Safe Fruit Protocol, a set of simple, clear rules that will allow you to continue enjoying fruit safely without the fear. If you believe that knowledge is power for your health and you are ready to learn these new rules, please type the number 1 in the comments below and be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and this information is truly critical for anyone over 60. Okay, doctor, let's dive right into our list. The first fruit is one that is in almost every kitchen in America. It's one that seniors in particular think of as incredibly safe and even heart healthy. Let's talk about bananas.
Yes, the banana. It is soft, easy to chew, inexpensive, and everyone knows it is full of potassium. People are often told to eat them to prevent muscle cramps and to support their heart health.
But that is exactly where the hidden danger lies for many older adults, especially when eaten at night. Here is the simple science. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at filtering out excess potassium from our blood. Now, many seniors are also taking very common blood pressure medications, like ACE inhibitors or ARBs, drugs like lisinopril or losartan, which also cause the body to hold on to potassium. When you combine these 2 factors, less efficient kidneys and a medication that retains potassium, and then you add 1 or 2 large bananas in the evening, you can quickly create a state called hyperkalemia, which means potassium overload. This condition is dangerous because it can severely slow down your heart rate and cause your blood pressure to drop too low while you sleep. When your blood pressure gets too low, not enough oxygen-rich blood can reach your brain, which can trigger a nocturnal or nighttime stroke.
I will never forget the story of Mr. Leonard Hayes, a 74-year-old retired auto mechanic. He was a very disciplined man who took his health seriously. Every night after dinner, he would have the same snack, a cup of tea and 2 ripe bananas. He was taking lisinopril for his blood pressure, and he believed the extra potassium from the bananas was a good thing for his heart. One morning, his wife found him slumped over in his chair, very confused. His speech was slurred, and his right arm was completely limp. He had suffered a major ischemic stroke in his sleep. At the hospital, his blood work showed that his potassium levels were dangerously high, and his blood pressure had likely dropped to a very low level overnight. The combination of his medication and his healthy nightly banana habit had created the perfect storm for a stroke. He survived, but with consequences that changed his life.
That is a shocking and powerful story. It makes it so clear that it's not that bananas are bad, but the timing, the quantity, and your specific medications are critically important. Now, the next fruit is also seen as a health food, often praised for its anti-inflammatory properties. Let's talk about pineapple.
Yes, another fruit that seems completely harmless.
Pineapple contains a very powerful natural enzyme called bromelain. Bromelain is excellent for digestion and can help reduce inflammation, which is why it's so popular. However, bromelain also has another powerful effect. It acts as a natural blood thinner. It works by interfering with your blood's ability to form clots. Now think about the millions of seniors who take a daily low-dose aspirin or a prescription blood thinner like warfarin, Plavix, or Xarelto to prevent a heart attack or stroke. If you are already taking a medication designed to thin your blood, and then you add a food that also thins your blood, you are creating a very dangerous situation. You are essentially adding a blood thinner on top of another blood thinner, which can make your blood too thin to clot properly when it needs to.
And if a tiny, fragile blood vessel in the brain were to rupture, the blood would not be able to clot, leading to a brain bleed or a hemorrhagic stroke. This reminds me of Mrs. Helen R., an 81-year-old retired school teacher. She was sharp, active, and took a daily baby aspirin as her doctor had recommended for years. She had read in a health magazine that drinking fresh pineapple juice was a wonderful way to reduce joint inflammation. So, she started drinking a large glass every morning. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the emergency room with a terrible pounding headache and severe dizziness. A CT scan revealed a small bleed deep inside her brain. She did not fall. Her blood pressure was normal. The combination of her daily aspirin and the concentrated bromelain from the daily pineapple juice had made her blood too thin, and one small vessel had given way. With tears in her eyes, she later told me, "I wish someone had told me a fruit could do this to me."
That story really highlights the need for wisdom and caution. These natural foods are a gift, but they are powerful. We have a responsibility to understand how they affect the bodies we've been given to care for, especially when medications are involved. Doctor, those first two examples are powerful because they show how fruits can interact with common medications. But the next two fruits on our list seem even more innocent. They're often seen as light, healthy snacks. Let's start with number 3, a favorite for many people: grapes.
Yes, grapes. They are small, sweet, and very easy to eat without making a mess. Many people see them as a healthy candy from nature.
But that intense sweetness is exactly where the hidden danger lies, especially for seniors in the evening. Here's the simple science. Modern grapes have been bred to be incredibly high in sugar, specifically fructose, but they have very little of the fiber that you would find in other fruits like an apple or a pear. When you eat a large bowl of grapes by themselves, especially as a late-night snack, that concentrated sugar hits your bloodstream like a tidal wave. This causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar and insulin levels. For an older person whose body might already be struggling with insulin resistance, this nightly roller coaster of high blood sugar creates a state of chronic inflammation in the delicate, small blood vessels of the brain.
This inflammation, night after night, is like a slow, quiet fire that damages the vessel walls. I think of a patient, Mr. Harold M., who was a 76-year-old retired postal worker. He was so proud of himself because he had given up his nightly bowl of ice cream and replaced it with what he thought was a much healthier choice: a large bowl of sweet green grapes. He came to me because he was feeling foggy and occasionally dizzy in the mornings. He just assumed it was part of getting older. But an MRI scan of his brain showed something very worrying: evidence of multiple microinfarcts. These are often called silent strokes. tiny areas of permanent damage that happened without causing major noticeable symptoms. We traced it back to his nightly habit. That large bowl of concentrated sugar was causing an inflammatory spike every single night, slowly and silently damaging the smallest blood vessels in his brain.
That is a frightening lesson that even natural sugar can become a problem if it's not balanced with fiber or other nutrients to slow its absorption. This leads us to our fourth fruit, which people often eat for the opposite reason, to stay hydrated. Let's talk about watermelon.
Yes, a fruit that everyone associates with summer, health, and refreshment. But again, for an older body, the timing and context are very important.
This one is tricky because it creates two potential problems at night for seniors. First, as you said, people eat it for hydration. But because it is over 90% water, it acts as a powerful diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate frequently. This can actually lead to a state of net dehydration by the early morning hours, which, as we know, thickens the blood. Second, watermelon is rich in an amino acid called citrulline. Your body uses citrulline to produce nitric oxide, a molecule that widens your blood vessels and can lower your blood pressure. So now you have a potentially dangerous combination while you sleep. Thicker blood from dehydration and lower blood pressure trying to push that thick blood up to your brain. It is a perfect storm for an ischemic stroke to occur during the night.
This is exactly what happened to a patient of mine, Mrs. Lillian R., who was 79. She was already taking a diuretic medication prescribed by her heart doctor. During a hot summer, she started eating a large bowl of chilled watermelon every night before bed to help her stay cool. One morning, her son found her in bed, very weak, and her speech was slurred. She had suffered a stroke overnight. Her well-meaning habit, combined with her medication, had created this dangerous situation inside her body while she slept peacefully.
These stories are so important because they show how things that seem healthy can have unintended consequences. It is a privilege to be able to share this kind of detailed information with our community. And to see how far that community reaches, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. It's a true blessing to connect with people all over the world who care about their health. Doctor, we've covered 4 whole fruits, but our 5th and final item on the list is perhaps the most common of all. It's in almost every refrigerator in America, and its label often says 100% natural or no sugar added. Let's talk about fruit juice.
Ah, yes, the one that people believe is exactly the same as eating the fruit itself. I must be very clear, it is not. In fact, it is often much worse.
It is much worse. From a scientific standpoint, fruit juice is the biggest offender when it comes to raising your blood sugar. When you juice a fruit, like an orange or an apple, you strip away and discard almost all of its valuable protective fiber. What you are left with is basically sugar water. This liquid sugar is absorbed by your body almost instantly, causing the most dramatic and rapid spike in blood sugar and insulin possible. This repeated shock to your system, day after day, is highly inflammatory for the delicate lining of your brain's blood vessels.
This was the exact issue for a patient of mine, Mr. Frank M., the 84-year-old retired postman. He was so proud that he drank a tall glass of no sugar-added orange juice with his toast every single morning. He truly believed it was the picture of health. But this daily habit was contributing to the wild swings in his blood pressure and the mini stroke he experienced. It is a sad thing. They take nature's perfect food, the orange, remove its most important protective part, the fiber, and then sell it back to us in a bottle, calling it healthy.
That is a powerful way to put it. So after hearing all of these warnings about bananas, pineapple, grapes, watermelon, and juice, our viewers are probably wondering, so does this mean I can't eat any fruit at all?
No, not at all. That is not the message. Fruit is a wonderful food. It is not about fear. It is about wisdom. You just need to follow a few simple rules. I call it my safe fruit protocol for seniors. It is very easy to remember.
Okay, let's go through it. What is the first rule in the protocol?
Rule number 1, timing is everything. The best time to eat fruit is in the morning or early afternoon, when your body is active and your metabolism is higher. Your body can use the natural sugar for energy then. Avoid eating large amounts of sweet fruit late at night when your body is preparing for rest and is less able to manage a sugar load.
That makes perfect sense. Your insulin sensitivity is naturally highest earlier in the day, meaning your body is simply better equipped to handle carbohydrates then. What's rule number 2?
Rule number 2, never let fruit go to a party alone. Always give it a partner. Never eat a piece of fruit by itself as a snack, especially if it's a sweet one. Always pair it with a healthy fat or a protein. For example, eat an apple with a spoonful of almond butter, or have your handful of berries with a bowl of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt.
And that's because the protein and fat act like a brake on the sugar. They slow down its absorption into your bloodstream and prevent that dangerous inflammatory blood sugar spike. Great advice. What's rule 3?
Rule number 3 is about portions. Your hand is your serving size. It is very easy to sit and eat a giant bowl of grapes. A simple rule for one serving of fruit is what can fit comfortably in the palm of your hand. 1 medium apple, 1 small banana, a handful of berries. That is a safe and appropriate serving.
Portion control is so important. That's a very simple way to remember it. Rule number 4?
Rule number 4, choose fruits that are rich in fiber. This means fruits where you eat the skin, like berries, apples, and pears. These are excellent choices. Fruits that are very high in sugar and have less fiber, like grapes and tropical fruits like mango, should be enjoyed in smaller quantities and less often. And as we discussed, fruit juice, which has no fiber, should be avoided.
Because that fiber is nature's built-in safety system. It's what protects you from the sugar. Okay, and the final rule?
The final rule is the most important of all. Rule number 5, you must know your medications. If you are taking any blood pressure medications, blood thinners, heart medications, or drugs for diabetes, you must speak with your doctor or your pharmacist about which fruits are safe for you. The most famous example is grapefruit, which is known to have serious interactions with many common medications. Do not guess. You must ask.
That is the ultimate act of responsible self-care. It's about taking this knowledge, which is truly a gift, and using it wisely in partnership with the health professionals who are guiding your care. Thank you, doctor. That protocol is incredibly clear and valuable. So the big lesson today isn't that fruit is bad. The lesson is that, for seniors, context is everything. The time of day you eat it, what you eat it with, your portion size, and your personal health conditions completely change the equation. Making these smart adjustments is a key strategy for protecting your long-term brain health. By avoiding the big sugar spikes and the dangerous medication interactions, you are actively reducing your risk of having a stroke. These simple rules are about creating a stable internal environment for your body, which is essential for good brain health as we age. It shows that you have the power to make choices that lower your risk of a stroke, one meal at a time. This mindful approach to eating is one of the best things you can do for your overall brain health.
I want to leave you with this final thought. Do not fear food. Instead, learn to respect your body as it is today. The great wisdom of growing older is knowing that you are not the same person you were at age 30 or 40. Your body has new needs and new sensitivities. Listen to what your body is telling you. Respond with gentle, wise choices, not with old, outdated habits. That is the true path to a long, vibrant, and healthy life.
That is the perfect message to end with, Doctor. It's about being a good steward of the body we have now, in this season of life. And it truly is a blessing to have this knowledge to be able to care for it properly. And the wisest first step in that stewardship is always to work with your own trusted medical team. Please remember, our conversation today is meant to educate you and help you ask better questions. It is not a substitute for the personal medical advice from your own physician or pharmacist, who knows your full health history and your specific medications. If you found this video eye-opening and helpful, please give it a like so more people can find this important information, and be sure to share it with a friend or a family member who you care about. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and it ensures you will never miss our next practical health guide. And for our community discussion today, after learning this, what is one small, simple change you plan to make in how you eat fruit? Please share your plan in the comments below. Your idea might be the one that helps another person in our community. Thank you for being with us today. Be well.